I think again this points to the same problem which Andy and Raj have articulated. I think we need role models. If there are few startups who have been highly successful and given the financial rewards, I think this automatically encourages more and more people to take startups as a career. See, I don't know, a few months back, I was in a US airport and I found that one of the senior executives from Microsoft had to come in TV and tell why Microsoft is suited for young guys to join like a startup environment. So he had to do all the convincing for the students to join Microsoft because we provide startup environment. I think in India, as you rightly pointed out, it's opposite. People really want to join branded companies and very rarely take up startup as a startup is considered as a risk, and maybe some of them they told they wouldn't get married also. Right? So it is a concern, but I think the best way to solve it is you show proof. These are the 10 companies which has been very successful, and the rewards has been exemplary, and that automatically triggers. I don't think there is any other way, in my opinion, to do this.
Yeah, I'll just add to it. You see what you said, that as long as there was enough, margin in a services business, it was a smart thing to do, and which is what the industry has done so far. There was the cost arbitrage was huge, and the margins that companies were able to enjoy was huge. If in semiconductors that margin still exists, why not? Go jump in. So, but that is something which is getting milked, and it will reach a saturation point. So when it reaches a saturation point, because this is low risk, high reward, okay, it's a no-brainer. Because of the situation that was there. And as long as it's there, there will be entrepreneurs who will jump in and make good out of that. But at some point in time, it's going to saturate. Then it will become too much of a competition. You have no differentiation. Then the next ladder you need to take, if this ladder is kind of gone, you take the next ladder of innovation, which is the ladder which is long-lasting.
Please go.
Hello. Good evening. This is Anil Kumar from SLN Technologies. When we are talking about innovation from entrepreneur side, I think it's only one side of the story. What I mean to say is, we are trying to clap with one hand. The other hand, I feel, is government. The reason is, I'm not actually criticizing or pessimist. Some of the initiatives what government is taking today, we should have done it about 25, 30 years back. Okay, are we doing the right thing for today's scenario? We have countries like China, which has got far better or much advanced manufacturing sector. And if you look at Europe, there is something like $50 billion fund meant for every 5 years for doing series of researches and innovation. Like Framework 7 program, there is so much of fund available for companies, education institutions, as well as individuals. Whoever want to participate, they can form a cluster and do it. And any kind of research or innovation, or even if you want to come out with some IP, it takes time. And as you rightly said some time back, angel investors or VCs, they don't fund for innovation. They don't want to give money for testing something. Today they want results. So don't you think that we need to think something differently and do some kind of innovation from the government side to help this ecosystem to develop? You can create a lot of sectors like, as Mr. Subramanian said, today what we require is different. Design houses, fabulous semiconductor houses, they require something different. Today, even if you give land free, it is difficult to set up a manufacturing sector. It is a different ball game. Can we just think in that direction?
Yeah. So let me take a stab at that question. Anilji, I think you're giving too much credit to the government. Entrepreneurship is something that it comes in from the market opportunity. The government is more of an enabler. And I think from this morning's session with Dr. Kumar, he showed a great, at least a roadmap and a framework for how governments can enable the industries. If you look at the United States, or especially Silicon Valley really started after World War II, the 40s and 50s. It revolved around a couple of universities there where innovation was happening. I liked your point in terms of this $50 million that was given or $50 billion that was given in Europe to different universities to enable innovation to happen. And just to Raj's point from the discussion during the panel was that the government is enabler from a funding perspective. What he was saying from the United States, Department of Defense, Department of Electronics of the United States, they funded a lot of these innovations from universities and also labs. So from the government standpoint, that's, at least in my mind, that is what the government's role is, purely at that level. If you want the government to innovate, that's amongst all of us who will innovate and start new companies that will revolutionize global markets.
Yeah, I would say, see, here in this, at least in this aspect, government does not need to innovate. They simply need to go check out, you know, and the information is readily available. It's just do what Israel is doing, do what US is doing, you know, and government does not do things, government does not innovate. You know, that's not the DNA of government. If something, there's a precedence of something having been done, then they will do it. So there are enough precedences of very good practices which government can just simply go and copy. Don't innovate. If you did that much, you have done enough to kick up the ecosystem.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we have a
my
time
point
for...
is actually innovation in terms of you know, framing the policies, and the policies can be innovative. Why we think that they cannot innovate? That's
No,
my question.
I mean, say policy, they can innovate, they can create better policy, but at least, you know, because innovation is a tough exercise in the government scheme of things, they can simply adopt the policies which have been done elsewhere. You know, like Andy said, we are not talking about something which is coming from the moon. It is something which is very obvious, which is being done, and it can simply be followed. Yeah.
If you just give me 1 minute, I want to put one more point.
Actually, okay, after your point, there's one more question we have one more time for. Please go ahead.
I've been telling state government since few years, when we give, say, land, for example, why we should give land, acres of land to companies. They take acres, but what they require is very small place. If you go and see in Singapore, go to, you know, there are Jurong Industrial Park, there are so many parks. They build multi-story buildings. Everything is ready with infrastructure. All you need to do is just walk in and start your operations. We haven't seen such kind of infrastructure at all in India. That's what my point.
There's a big time's up flashing right down there. So one more question and we should wrap up the panel.
Hello, sir. I'm Amrita, and I'm actually an independent researcher in semiconductor manufacturing field. My question is, sir, earlier there was a question about is angel investment done in just R&D oriented startups? Or also if you speak about training the manpower, so why can't we go for a lab on hire model? Like first establish labs that can service products and are meant only for innovation, and then actually jump into manufacturing processes which are very capital intensive things.
Yeah. Who would like to take that in, please, in 30 seconds?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Lab on hire, like common shared labs, is a good idea. You know, that's also part of the initiative that needs to probably be university driven. And it's a great idea. It should be followed.
Other countries have done incubators, of course, which I'm sure also India is looking at. That's exactly what I think you're saying. So incubators exist exactly for that. They're either annexed to universities or actually set up as potentially independent businesses.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining the session on catalyzing. Okay, sorry. Okay, I didn't hear. Please.
I'm Subramaniam, director from Tatsal Ventures. Last 2 years I've been working on various matters with 25 years of experience in industry. I have several ideas. I'll just share 2 major issues. One is we are spending 1 lakh crores on education every year in sponsoring our students to abroad for higher studies. And this is the observation of the ministry. And this is not a small amount in terms of exchange outflow. Finishing schools are the best answers for this. When I'm trying to work on this, including procurement of the land, the banks say it's out of our purview. Number 2, the analytics are so important areas. One such analytics are financial analytics. One example I can cite here is many of our old stockbrokers have gone out of the stream merely because they don't have analytical tools. And this is offering innumerous number of opportunities, and the banks won't finance. Now, these are the 2 major subjects which I would like to present before you. And that if this can be addressed, there are umpteen number of such areas which can provide entrepreneurial empowerment to various people at various stages. Thank you.
Yeah, in 30 seconds, yes, no answer.
I would say our government is being very innovative. Okay, when I said this, because all the policy framework that you see coming, it's like everybody now in government is driving the industry. They're coming proactively with a policy, so we can very well trust. I think there are Dr. Zarabi is here, who's very much a part of the think tank in the government, and the people. These are things that can be solved, and government is being proactive. We have to give the credit where they've done a marvelous thing. At some point of time, they were not, woken up to the opportunity, but now they have woken up. So when the iron is hot, all these right ideas should be put in one place, and hopefully some result will come out. But the point is that it is equally important. It's just not important to put the policy framework that we have done to run the race on both the legs. Even these other things, which cost much lower, also need to be put in place.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for joining the panel on catalyzing entrepreneurship and innovation. Thank you.
Well, after that interesting panel session, I would request Mr. Vivek Tyagi to kindly come over and give away mementos to all the panelists. To our moderator, Mr. Vishal Verma, Managing Director, Edgewood Networks. Thank you very much, Mr. Vishal. Also to Mr. Ganapathy Subramaniam. Thank you very much, Mr. Ganapathy, and also to Mr. Rajendra Kumar Khare, the Chairman and Managing Director, Shore Waves Innovation. And finally, to Andrew Kai, Head of Asia, William Blair & Company. Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew. Thank you very much, Mr. Vivek Tyagi, for doing the honors.